that Diddy was an FBI informant. Whoa. So he was a snitch and was feeding information to the feds. And we don't know what that means. We haven't been able to confirm it, but even Little Rod said it's not just like Epstein. It could be worse than Jeffrey Epstein.
Puff was a millionaire. Him being a confidential informant, him getting money like that, it was favors. He been getting favors and been paying law enforcement people for years.
Diddy was talking to the feds. Do you think that's true?
Whether it's true or not, and he might have been cooperative in some way, shape, or form, you don't get away with human trafficking unless you give up John Gotti or something like that, and that's not what happened here.
When news broke that rapper Diddy's homes were being raided by the feds, there were a whole lot of rumors floating around. From sex trafficking allegations gaining weight to the news that Diddy was getting arrested, everything was covered. But we doubt people expected what is now popping up, that Diddy was actually a federal informant. For decades, Sean Puff Daddy Combs has reigned over his hip-hop empire through Bad Boy Records. He led his label through the East Coast, West Coast rivalry, and signed some of the biggest names in music, including the Notorious Big and Mary J. Blige. But it all started crashing down in November 2023, when his ex-girlfriend accused him of abusing and raping her. That was followed by more lawsuits and culminated in a raid on 2 of his homes in Miami and Los Angeles. The official news was that he was being investigated by Homeland Security for sex trafficking.
This after federal authorities have raided 2 properties linked to him, one on each coast. Sean Combs appears to be part of an investigation into a sex trafficking operation. And of course, this comes as he faces multiple lawsuits that accuse him of assault and abuse, and he denies it all. Clearly, a federal judge signed off on this in order for these properties to be raided. And who were they raided by? Homeland Security carried out the raid. Homeland Security focuses on human trafficking investigations, among other things.
While the world was shocked by what was going on, some of his former associates revealed something even darker, that Diddy was actually a federal informant. It started with an interview with the rapper's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal. He described the relationship in an interesting way.
What happens is that the police will bring in a CI and will use him like she was a $3 hoe. That's a confidential informant. They'll let you do crimes, long as you don't do no murders and stuff like that.
Deal went on to mention his own time in law enforcement to explain how the process worked.
They'll let you go around and pay you. When I was in law enforcement, dog, they paid confidential informants $250 for revolvers, $500 for automatic weapons, $750 to $1,500 for semi-automatic guns and rifles and machine guns and shit like that. Some confidential informants got payment like that.
Apparently, apart from payments, informants also get a cut of any successful case they help realize.
And plus, they get 8% of a case. 8% of a case. So if they bring in about, just say, they bring in a case $100,000. That's 8,000, what's that? What's that? $8,000. That's 8,000. They bring in $1 million case. $1 million case, that person is getting $80,000. I mean, like $80,000 on it. I think if you're talking about 8%, you know what I mean?
But as Deal pointed out, Diddy was a millionaire. He wouldn't care for a cut in the thousands. Instead, he got something more valuable for someone like him.
So I'm saying that to say this. Confidential informants get paid good. But Puff was a millionaire. Him being a confidential informant, him getting money like that, it was favors. He been getting favors and been paying law enforcement people for years.
His team had people from law enforcement for years.
To protect him, you understand? To protect him. we had a lot of people on the payroll when we was doing security. Everybody had, somebody might have this first 10 hours, that 10 hours, or whatever. He was paying law enforcement. He had a budget for law enforcement.
This made it easier for him to get out of tricky situations.
Now, if something goes wrong, those people got friends in certain places. Then plus he tells his handler, yo, can you make this go away for me? I'll give you this and that.
Deal admitted that people might doubt the extent of Puffy's dealings with the FBI, but as he pointed out, why would they do him favors if he wasn't working with them?
Now, that could be a lot of speculations or whatever like that. But why would you have or be working for an FBI agent if you're not an informant? Why? So when you got that kind of money, you could hire people to make a lot of things go away for you.
Another interesting point is that it wasn't just having law enforcement on his payroll, it also extended to lawyers and their contacts in a complicated tangle. Money talks after all.
Like you hire lawyers. Those lawyers have police officers and people working for them and investigators. Those investigators were former officers. So all of them in the backyard in Diddy bed together.
But what made the higher-ups turn on an informant who had worked with them for decades, especially since so many people think his arrest is imminent and that the investigation was well planned?
So I absolutely believe, and again, simply my hypothesis, he is innocent until proven guilty, that he will be arrested and indicted on sex trafficking charges. I have no doubt about that. And I do believe that he was most likely the kingpin of this. These girls.
I have a feeling that this is just the tip of the iceberg as it pertains to unraveling whatever scheme might be taking place. That means that they've been interviewing victims, they've been interviewing people behind the scenes. They probably already have numerous statements from individuals that have talked about what happened. And that is what probably supported the request for a search warrant on these properties.
Deal thinks people in power could have gotten tired of him and his limelight following the lawsuits.
Like I said, some people could retire. His name is too much in the news. Like, listen here, bro. They don't want you to be always in the news in a negative form. There's people that's probably worse than Diddy, but they not always in the news in a negative form.
And then there's the fact that he sued Diageo for alleged racial discrimination.
And then, like I said before, when he went against one of the world's biggest distributors of alcohol and spirits, they put out a campaign against him. They called their friends. They made him look real bad in the media.
All that bad press became a catalyst for Diddy's fall with the feds.
And a lot of that shit didn't go away, bro. It just compiled. And now with Cassie with her stuff, that Jonathan Odie, Lil Rob, and the 4 other people that filed cases. I think he got like 3 to 4 other cases that's filed against him that they trying to work out instead of going into court.
Gene Deal isn't the only one to come out to say that the music mogul was working as an informant. There's also Freddy P, formerly of Da Band. In case you don't know, making the band 2 was pretty big at its peak. Except Diddy said something to him that was so disturbing it made him quit. It started with him waking up in a bad mood, which got him into an argument with Puffy.
When he said this to me, it hit a nerve. It was like, it was on some shit like, one day I woke up, I was in the mood, I'm in the studio, I'm snapping, whatever, I don't want to be with it. You know, when you around a bunch of goofies, you a street nigga, sometimes you don't want to be around the nerds, sometimes the nerds irritate you. So I'm in that bitch, I'm just frustrated with a lot of shit that's going on. Anyway, we get in a situation.
It eventually led to Puffy threatening him.
Nick like, he was like, man, money, man, what you think, you bad or something? He was like, nigga, I'll buy every house on your block. Shut every light off on that bitch, and when you come out, every time you come out that bitch, you'll get popped. So when another nigga tell you some shit like that, you like, get your animated ass out of here, goofy ass. You feel what I'm saying? When he tell you some shit like that, you go to picture him purchasing every house. You go to picturing every light on the block going on. And that shit silenced me. And for you to make that, people ask why I left the band. Like, that's why I left the band. Like, that's why I didn't do Dave Chappelle.
Freddie P also said that he believed Diddy was gay, but that didn't mean he wasn't dangerous.
Don't forget the gangster. He got a lot of licious in him now. He gangster-licious. But don't forget the gangster part. The bitch still a gangster now. The bitch get it done, and he'll get it done. That's evidence that he'll get it done.
Plus, he was a Fed informant.
The bitch a Fed. You get what I'm saying? So he not, don't you see niggas conducting themselves like that and carrying about like that because they not worried about doing no time. It's a federal agent. He know he been an agent. He know that. That man working, man. That man not worried about going to jail. That man just got a hand shit over. He got a handler, man.
Freddie said it was obvious he was working with them to save himself, especially after the 1999 Club New York shooting.
Anybody who can't see that Puffy is a fucking agent. The man been dodging jail, and he's a scary nigga that can't take jail. He showed you that by sacrificing niggas up on him. That's like a nigga saying, no, I can't go. He got it give him claustrophobic. So imagine what he'll do to stay the fuck up out of there. Yeah, he gonna sit in the DA office. Plus he trying to prove to these people that he's a civilized, he's a productive citizen now. He's not no thug. People gotta understand what he went through at that time. What he went through at that time, you know, he had a different perception when shooting guns in the club, and he almost lost a lot. Nobody wanna fuck with him, nobody wanna touch him. I look at Mace, everybody.
Interestingly, this is in line with what Gene Deal said, who claimed that Diddy wouldn't survive if he had to go to jail.
There's always a possibility because you're suffering. But I don't think that he could see himself in a cage. I don't think he could see himself behind those bars in those type of situations. It's too many real dudes that dislike him.
But both Freddie and Gene agree that he's only getting what he deserves. Gene was especially emphatic, pointing out that you can't turn your back on the people who help you move up in life.
When they start getting in this power, certain positions, have certain amount of money, they don't look back. Some of them don't look back and don't think they have to come back to the people that help them get to those positions. You understand? I don't care what nobody say. You understand? If somebody helps you and use their ability and their talents to help you get in position and get to certain places and do certain things, you come back. And you make sure things is all right. You don't disrespect people's mothers. You don't disrespect your friends that took their money to make sure you was all right when you was wrong, when you was messed up. You don't do that, brother.
Freddie also said that he had played God for long enough, and now it was time to answer for his crimes.
Did he feel like he's above the world, but God just reminded him who really runs shit. See, the devil, what Diddy was thinking all these years was, oh, man, I'm this and that. That's what the devil do. He parade you around. You don't know he there until he actually deserts you. So God, he parading you around. Because when I get ready to drop you, I'm finna parade you in front of the same crowd that I'm finna make you look bad for. You look good for 40 years. I hope you enjoyed those good days.
He even said the same thing as Gene, that he wouldn't survive in harsh conditions.
If Puffy had to live like me, he'd be dead by now. You get what I'm saying? If Puffy came from my environment, off my block, and things wasn't handed to him, he'll be dead by now. You can't even fucking do 3 months in jail, bro. You'll lose your fucking mind, bro. He can't survive in no fucking jail, bro.
If you had any doubt left as to whether Diddy was actually a federal informant, even Kanye West implied something about him in an interview on Drink Champs.
You fake hard niggas, fuck you. Hold on. Okay. All you fake hard niggas, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck because you can't shoot nobody anyway. And the reason why you got talk is because you did a deal, you fucking fed. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta come at me, because part of the deal for you to be a do all that and get out of jail is that you promise that you're gonna go pull my co-car.
Jaguar Wright, who's been on a roll about Diddy the past couple of weeks, also plainly said that Diddy was an informant.
Free states. working in tandem, and they did not tell the officers who they were raiding. They went in tactical as they were instructed to. They didn't know they was raiding Diddy's house. The higher-ups didn't tell anybody because they knew, with Diddy being a Fed informant, that he had people in the force and they wanted to make sure that went through legit. So they ain't tell nobody whose houses they was going to.
That's why you see the guns.
She also mentioned the fact that people on the team weren't even aware whose house they were going to raid to prevent any leak.
I can tell you, Jesse, that this investigation's been going on for a long time, very closely held by HSI, so much so that even some of the agents on the raid a week ago today didn't know whose house they were raiding until they got there. That's how closely held this investigation.
Wow, because there could have been a tip.
Of course, some people feel he might have only been taking and giving favors from the feds rather than being an informant.
Those involved in law enforcement close to them. But that doesn't mean they're taking payoffs. That doesn't mean they're doing big favors. They like that closeness. It's just like how Diddy was able to court Diageo or Estee Lauder. He was very successful in doing that, and that made him a lot of money and gave him credibility outside the hip-hop rap world. And that's what he was trying to do here, a lot like what Epstein did with very powerful political and business.
Chris Hansen for Fox News pointed out that the situation might be similar to Epstein, with civil lawsuits giving the FBI a chance to crack down on the mogul. For now, it looks like the 2 raids on his homes were only the start of the investigation.
Federal prosecutors, as they often do, took a look at those lawsuits. They were able to speak, we're told, to at least some, if not all, of Diddy's accusers. And then they sent federal agents with Homeland Security investigations to go to his houses and to try and get corroborating evidence, because that's ultimately what they would need to bring a case. We're told that they were able to seize electronics, as you'd expect, devices in the homes, because they're looking for videos, photos, any mementos that he may have been keeping that would corroborate what accusers have said. You know, if they said, well, I took a picture with him here at this place and he flew me on this jet here. They need evidence to corroborate that, and that's undoubtedly what they were looking for, and most of it's probably electronic.
They got to have probable cause in order to do something like they did that day.
It's a good point, and that tells you, I think, that they're confident in their case and that they were able to convince a judge that there was evidence in that home of potential crimes.
All right, Aaron Katersky, thanks so much.
It looks like Diddy's empire isn't going to have a good end. A former NYPD rap intelligence detective even told the Post he has a very questionable past that he's been able to control because of his power for a very long time. But it looks to me like someone is behind this, someone who really wants to destroy his brand and take him down. The feds are zeroing in on the mogul, and it looks like many people are waiting for his fall. Diddy has been going around trying to do good PR, but Gene Deal thinks the feds are going to get a case out of him no matter what. So are we going to see the hip-hop mogul take the stand? Or will the feds let someone else take the fall? For now, we can only wait and see. That's it for now. Don't forget to tell us what you think in the comments below. For more updates, hit the bell icon.